2004, 2005. Something
I came there to this computer store when what's the name to it? That was like 2000. Before I went there one time before I ever got on there
to the station. Okay,
because bro was telling me about it, so I just came. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just happened to see it. I didn't do nothing. I just came there.
Right. You came and got something fixed in my store?
I got something for sure.
Oh,
I for sure got something fixed in my store. That was years ago. I moved out of there in 2005, right before New Year's the ball dropped. So like 2006, I moved out. I got evicted out of my apartment. So I got the boot, and I had to go back to the hood. And in that process of me going back to the hood, people I know was trying to scam and stuff like that. So they were saying I needed a certain type of computer, get RAM done. I was trying to add RAM and stuff to it. So
hopefully I took care of you.
Yeah, you took care of me. So all right, we come from there. Let's move forward. Boom, you started the station.
Right. So now I got the physical location where we set up the table, the mics and everything. And again, you know, we didn't want to just do the internet with the audio.
Right.
You know, I wanted to have a visual because then when it was Ustream back then, if y'all remember Ustream.
I remember Ustream.
So again, man, shout out to Paulie Guap, man, because it was like, yo, I want to do this, I want to do that, and Paulie would go and research and figure out how can we do this. Like I was tough on that motherfucker, man, because he was like, what the fuck, man? We can't do that. You know, they don't have the capabilities to do that. And I'm like, nigga, we got to figure it out. Right. I can curse.
Yeah.
So again, man, we figured it all out, man. Again, man, always shout out to Paulie Guap, man. So we figured all that out, and that's when we started to really reach out and start, you know, the local guys. You know, we were in Bayonne, so we hit everybody in Jersey City. And I'm from Newark, I'm from Irvington, I'm from East Orange, I'm from Orange, I'm an Essex County baby.
Right.
So I started reaching out to other people, and we would just find y'all on the MySpaces and shit like that, you know, and just reach out.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you a funny story, right? Because we were nobodies and we started off. So Kevin, you know, I used to tell him like, yo, I reach out
too.
And he was I'll get to that story too, just so you know how Hev actually came on deck. But I used to tell him like, yo, reach out to this guy or that guy. I reached out, man, the motherfuckers ain't get back to me. It's like, yo, you gotta reach out again. Oh, man, fuck all that, man. You know, I'm like, Heb, they don't know who we are. This is where the hard work comes in and starts off. Is they don't know who we are. You can't just say, yo, we're a radio station, come on through. You know, but I used to have to, you know, I used to have to press them all the time, like, call them again. Call them again. Call them again. That's what happened with Surf and Shook. We'll get to that too. But yo, nobody's just gonna even now. Like some of these guys are literally my friends. Baby showers and shit like that. I can't just say, yo, come over tomorrow and let's do an interview. No. You know, and then sometimes you got to call them again to remind them, yo, we doing an interview. I mean, I'm sure y'all go through the same thing.
Yeah, we had to call you like 6 times.
That's a lie, man. Right. That's definitely.
I called him 3 months ago to remind him about the interview 2 months ago for about 3 months. So I had another interview. You know what I mean?
Not my boy.
Yeah, so that's how we ended. You know, then like I said, we started to do that. Now I'll tell you the heavy bag story.
Tell me the heavy bag story.
So when I started the station, I needed a host. So we had a girl, Yanni Vicious. I don't even remember how we actually found Yanni Vicious. But we got Yanni Vicious, and then because me and Hev, we made music together too.
Right, years ago.
You know, before the radio station.
Hev like 3 or 4 years old. No, he's probably 3 years older than me. My freshman year, I believe, was his senior year or something like that.
Yeah, so he was rapping. You know, Hev was the rapper in Bayonne. You know,
right, and he was nice too.
Yeah, Hev was
white
fire.
Boy was going crazy. You know, he was the only white boy spitting like that.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Hev was nice.
So. Because it was Heb, that was my man, and that's Paulie Guap's boy too. They knew each other before I knew them. And so Yanni Vicious, we got Yanni Vicious, said, yo, Heb's gonna be the first guest. So Heb was our first guest on the station when we first started the station. He was our first guest.
Right.
So that's a, what do you call that? Behind the scenes story, some shit. What is that called?
Exclusive.
Something you didn't know.
Yeah, it's exclusive.
Something a lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
And so they did, their chemistry was really good. So we was like, yo, y'all should do the show together. The very next show, Beauty and the Beast. Hev was the beauty, she was the beast. Because she was like, you know, she had this little grime about her, but she was finer than a motherfucker too.
Right.
But boom, there you go. 15 minutes of fame. That's
what birthed the first.
That's what birthed the first interview and Heavy Bag at the same time.
So
he was so great too at it. Go ahead, my foot.
Original.
What?
Yeah.
It's great.
So the original setup was supposed to be you and her interviewing, and then you decided to
No,
fall
I was never, even to this day, I'm not supposed to be doing interviews. That was never my thing. I just put all that shit together. You know what I mean? But I was never supposed to do it. We'll get to how I wind up doing interviews too, so if we got time.
No, we definitely. That's what we moving. That's part of the.
That's the journey.
So we going through your journey, man. This is like one of them. I mean, one of them things. This is if ever there be a life biography, this is it. This is the moment.
I was thinking about doing a documentary too, so hopefully maybe y'all let me use some of this footage if I ever do it.
Absolutely, you can definitely use this footage, bro. You one of the bros. Oh, and you got to sign a release form before you leave. I forgot to do that. NDA.
Damn, after I do the
no, it's supposed to have been before, but what's the name is not here today. That's a whole nother story. Assistant, but so all right, we go from there. The station on, it's moving, right? Because I remember, I'm saying,
but I got you.
We moving forward, like we moving the years. We can't go year by year, but we moving the years. I remember Swave Sever being up there, right? Wasn't he was a host for a small time?
No,
that's years.
I seen him up there a couple, or he just was a guest a couple times.
Swave was a guest up there a couple times, but Swave didn't actually do the show until years later.
I'm talking about when it's popping out, because now, you know, in between time.
Well, you can't
skip
listen,
the journey.
You can't talk about the popping, right? Because y'all got to understand something, right? And like I say, I've never done an interview before, right? Well, I did one with 3 Letterman. Shout out 3 Letterman. I did one over the phone with him, a short interview. But what we was doing, and this is why I don't like to do interviews, because I start talking shit. I don't talk shit, you know what I mean?
Drink up.
But we was, look at But, I mean, literally, man, we was doing shit nobody else was doing. I mean, yes, there were radio stations, right? But can you remember a radio station was actually playing niggas' videos in between the interview?
No, what's the name? What's the name going now? What's his name?
Sev.
I ain't said now. We're talking 15 years ago.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, like we were really like, I thought, you know, and if I'm wrong, but I thought we were doing some really innovative shit, man.
You guys were. I dropped the video years ago. That was one of my favorite joints. I had Shorty in the car. Well, the first time I seen it outside of YouTube was what you guys had dropped it, 2012, 2013. And I thought I was like hyped. Like, oh, bro, somebody else picked it up. It was one of those moments for me.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Because, and I felt like you guys were not only like for the artists to see the visual, but financially, I wasn't really charging nothing. I was just like, how did you keep this shit going at that time?
Shout out to my store. I literally funded all that shit out my pocket. Everything.
How were you surviving in your personal life? Where were you at?
What I do,
were
man.
you
I'm a survivor, man. I'm an Essex
bag.
County baby. You know, that's what we do. You know what I mean? I'm a hustler.
That nigga had the keys. He didn't want to have nobody. I had the keys now.
Nah, I gave plenty of advice throughout the years. That's what you're saying? I had the keys and they didn't want to tell nobody?
Right.
Nah, man.
Talking about.
A lot of people would say, yo, you see some of these battle rappers with their own channels, ask them who, you know, gave them the insight on how to do it.
Right.
I won't say names, but
You don't gatekeep the information?
nah, man.
You don't feel like and I don't mean to say
Wait. Some information you gotta keep. You can't give them all of, because then now you're creating competition. You know, competition is healthy, but you don't want to create the competition.
Right.
So you do have to pick and choose who you help. You know what I mean? So.
Right. So let's go back. So we don't want to skip the journey, like you said.
Yes.
Y'all made me pump my brakes. We gonna pump them. So boom. Let's take it back. 2012, 2013. Where were you financially? Where was the station financially? And what was the plan to bring it forward to where it went before?
I never had an issue financially, period, or else I wouldn't have been able to do it.
Gotcha.
The only reason I did it, I'll tell you a quick story of how I think, right? My store was started, I had a job. My store was started because I wanted a little spot where so I can go fix computers on the side from my job and make some extra money. So I got this spot. It was $400 a month for the little cubby hole, not the one I had, the one you came to. The one it was next door.
Next
was
door to it.
super small.
That's the first one. That's the one I came from.
No, you didn't come to that one, or did you?
05?
Well, 05, that was the little store.
That's
then.
what I'm saying. That was the small one.
Yeah,
That's
but
why I thought it was. Remember, I was just telling you. That's what I was
Then
trying
that's
to
what it
explain
was.
to
There
you.
was the
Then
little
I said,
one.
You moved next door. That's what I was talking about.
yeah, okay, all right, yeah. Damn.
Come on, man.
You
We can do
old,
this,
man.
bro.
You an old motherfucker, Lou.
Bro, I was 20 in 05. No, I was 19 in 05 of it.
But it was like $400 a month, and I was able to afford $400 a month.
Right.
I was able to afford it out of my paycheck, and I was okay with it. So again, it's just my thinking of let me make another move. Funny story about that is that after I opened my store, almost 2 years later, I got laid off.
Got you.
God, I had my store.
It was now it's pumping now.
Now, it's pumping enough for me to say, like, because I was still looking for a job, but, motherfuckers wasn't paying me what my job was paying me, so I wasn't backtracking. So, again, I just focused on the store, and that I just told you that because it worked the same way, because now I got the store, now I'm jumping over and do the radio station. You know what I mean? It's just like you just making a move.
Right.
So I only made the move because I was able to afford the move. I wouldn't have been struggling trying to keep the radio station afloat.
That's the
you know what I
answer.
mean?
Right,
So,
got you.
and again, I dressed it up, man. Everything wasn't brand new.
Right, you right.
You know what I mean? A lot
Some
of the stuff
favors
was
probably
cheap
came in.
equipment, and it was just that I dressed it up very nice and made it look like more than what it really was. So.